Hey everyone, it is your girl Grandma Meek, and I am back to do another part of our series in reference to suicide. I had to give myself a day or two to digest what I had just spoke about for 20 minutes, and I'm sorry if the video was extremely long for those who are currently going through this phase that we oftentimes experience. So I want to today speak to those who are currently in that phase of the crisis. And when I say crisis, oftentimes we don't associate the act of suicide with any type of mental condition. We often relate it to financial issues, housing issues, job issues, everything that makes us who we are in this world. But we don't think about the mental health of someone who has decided that ending their life is the best solution to this huge problem. When people ask why do people commit suicide, there are several reasons why. Again, the brain, the human brain, and the mental health is the first and most important factor. Then you have your environmental factors. That's where you live, how the neighborhood, the city, the poverty level. Next, our genetics. We don't want to discuss that previous family members had mental conditions. We just like to deem them crazy and proceed with the conversation. But there was a type of crazy. That was bipolar crazy, that was schizophrenic crazy, that was manic crazy, that was a definition to that crazy. And that's the one thing, the first major thing that goes underdiagnosed. We in the African American community don't feel the need to seek mental health. It was frowned upon again, and it goes back to my original video. It was frowned upon again in religion, and most of us were raised Baptist or Pentecostal. We didn't talk about it. It didn't happen. And even if someone did commit suicide, the death was actually normally rude accidental death or something to that extent, because no one wanted to be embarrassed by someone committing suicide. So that's there. So going back to those factors, a primary factor is either it could be one of two things. It could be genetics, it could be their current situation, and it could be a combination of both. So there's no real way to define how a person gets to the point of suicide. There are factors to lead them there. It isn't something that should be tiptoed around. I hate that we are so afraid to talk about suicide because we have our own personal opinions on what happens to a person when they commit suicide. And again, we are nobody's judge or jury. We'll find out when we get there. That's just where I am with that. And of course, again, I'm not a licensed professional, but I am currently in school. But spiritually, that's your belief. Your belief. If you spiritually believe that in your heart that it's such a sin that God won't let you in the gates, that's where you are. If you don't feel the same, that's where you are. So that's neither here nor there. But it should be talked about. And it shouldn't be talked about just when it happens or it occurs in a family or to an individual that is loved by greatly by many people. It shouldn't take that to talk about suicide, because most people aren't necessarily going to reach out for help. And so that's why it's important for us to discuss these things. Really ask our friends, how are they? Ask our families, are you okay? And if they're not okay, allow them to talk about why they're not okay. Don't dim their light. Don't dim their issue. Don't dim their problem. Listen. Actively listen. In counseling, we call that actively listening. Actively listen. Don't speak. It's oftentimes about someone just being there for them. And that's what we need. We need someone to be there for us at times in our life that we can't figure things out. And your negativity just isn't going to help the issue. But most individuals are going to communicate it in some kind of way. Communication comes in various ways. You just have to pay attention. People give you verbal cues. They give you verbal signals about saying things such as, I'm tired. I feel hopeless. I feel helpless. I can't do this anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. It's better off that I'm gone. Things of that nature. And at that time, again, don't snap and say, oh, no. Man, you stupid. Girl, you stupid. How you talk like, don't say that. And although you don't want them to say that, if they're mentally thinking it, guess what? Their words were just giving you a warning. That's what their mind was telling them to do. So them speaking it, not speaking it doesn't stop their thoughts. It does not stop these suicidal ideations at all. It actually fuels them. There are physical signs. They become withdrawn socially. They don't want to talk. They don't want any visits. They don't want to go outside. They don't want to do anything in the light. Their rooms are completely dark for the most part. Most of the majority of the day. They begin to slack on their personal hygiene. They care less about their outer appearance anymore. They appear to sometimes either lose weight or gain weight. It just depends on the person's body. If they're some people stress eat and some people don't eat at all. So it's just going to depend on that person and how they handle stressful situations. However, in most cases, there will be a physical appearance that may also change. What do you do if you receive a phone call from a friend or family member that says to you, I'm about to kill myself? You call 911. You call 911 and give them as much information about that person, including their name, date of birth, address, last known place, the exact thing the exact phrase that they gave you at the time that they expressed that they were about to kill themselves. The reason you want to do that and you don't want to just send a wellness check is because there's different types of officers, and some officers are trained in crisis intervention. So if you don't say that this person indicated to you that they had a gun and that they were going to kill themselves, and they are in this location, if that officer goes there not knowing that there's something, a crisis going on, they could actually shoot that individual. And if that person was seeking suicide, that would be a way to go. So it is please be mindful when you contact the authorities. If a family or friend reaches out to you and indicates to you that they want to end their lives and they have a weapon, they have a knife, they have a gun, they've taken pills, please provide 911 with as much information that you can so that they can get the correct help that they need. Take all signs of distress seriously. Do not think that somebody is just saying this for attention. In a way they are, but it's not the attention that you think. Someone makes an announcement on Facebook that they are about to end their life. Yes, they're seeking attention because they're wanting to end their life. Some part of them may want someone to talk them out of it. Another part of them may just want to let you know. So if you start to look for them, you'll know that they're no longer on this earth anymore. So please don't take distress lightly. We need to normalize psychoeducation again in a manner that it isn't a bad thing. We should want to know about our mental health. We should want to know the things that will set us off. We should want to know if there are things that we're going to genetically transfer to our kids with our genes. We should want to know more about our mental health. And I am so glad that, again, I went through this experience and now going through the school experience, because it gives me a different insight of what to expect and what to do and how to even help myself. In 2022, I had a dark moment as well again, that it was easier for me to let go. And my granddaughter saved my life on that day. She couldn't really talk. So it's not about what you say to people to help them through their crisis. It's sometimes just being there in that moment that can make the best outcome for the situation. A person wants you to be there. Listen, show concern, show love. In the event that those things still don't work and that person is still contemplating suicide, there are resources available. 988 is the National Suicide Line. They help with all kind of issues. The state of Tennessee does have resources as well. They have a website. I'm going to provide those links in the description below. And yeah, just be there. So today's message, a part of this series, just be there. Know the signs, hear the signs, be active. Don't take them lightly, and don't take them and don't be judgmental. All right, so in the next part of the series, I'm going to dedicate that to those who are currently going in that crisis. And I want to be able to be inspirational to you. So I'm working on that. I'm working on my words and working on how I want to express what's on my heart to you, to let you know that it's not over. Just hold on just a little bit longer. Hold on just a little while longer. If you can, just please hold on. I love you all. Thank you so much for joining, and thank you so much for watching. And be well. Grandma Meek out.